guys, now I've got discussion B for you. We are discussing studies link prayer to brain changes and mental health gains. Okay, so we're going to discuss that for B. So let's get this going. Short answer: imaging and review studies show prayer reliably alters brain activity in networks tied to attention, social cognition, and emotional regulation, and may observational in many observational studies link religious involvement in prayer with smaller risks of depression, better stress coping, but prayer for medical outcomes show no clear benefit. How prayer shows up in the brain. Neuroscience research using MRI, SPECT, and EEG consistently finds that prayer, whether contemplative, spoken, or rhythmic, engages the prefrontal cortex and the default mode network. Give me 1 second, guys. And reflection, empathy, and relational thinking. These are the same systems activated when people imagine other mind or engage in deep social connection. Some studies also show reduced amygdala activity, which aligns with lower fear and stress reactivity and enhanced connectivity in networks, supporting self-awareness and emotional regulation. A separate line of research highlights the role of breath linked to prayer. Rhythmic recitation, which can activate the parasympathetic nerve system and may increase serotonin release, contributing to calm emotional balance. Mental health outcomes. What's actually supported across large observational studies and systematic reviews. People who pray or engage in spiritual practices often report lower depression, anxiety, greater resilience and coping capacity, stronger sense of meaning and purpose. Better stress recovery. These benefits appear strongest when Prayer is part of a broader spiritual or communal life, social support, healthier routines, and a sense of belonging all contributes. Importantly, these studies are correlational. People who pray may differ in many ways from those who don't, and those differences, not prayer alone, may drive some of the mental health advantages. Why prayer might help. Researchers propose several overlapping mechanisms. Cognitive control and attention. Prayer requires focus, which strengthens executive networks, attachment processes, feeling connected to a loving delta activates the same neural systems used in human attachment, reducing loneliness and perceived threats. Psychosocial calming, rhythmic or meditative prayer, slows breathing, activates the vagus nerve, and may modulate serotonin and cholesterol or cortisol. Meaning making. Prayer can help people reframe suffering, enhancing emotional resilience. What prayer doesn't seem to do. Large, well designed trials of intercessory prayer, praying for someone else's physical healing, show no reliable improvement in medical outcomes, such as recovery after surgery or heart procedures. The mental health benefits apply primarily to the person who's praying, not necessarily the person being prayed for. This is consistent across multiple reviews, though not all were in the same search results. Limitations to keep in mind. Studies vary widely in the types of prayer examined. Many samples are small or limited to specific region group or religious groups. Neural changes do not automatically translate to long-term clinical improvement. Prayer should not replace evidence-based treatment for serious mental illness. Bottom line, prayer appears to change the brain in ways that support calm, emotional regulation, and social connectedness, and it is associated with better with better mental health outcomes. But prayer alone has not been shown to cure medical conditions or replace clinical care. Takeaway: the systematic review, the convergent neuroscience of Christian prayer and attachment relationships in context of mental health argues that Christian prayer and human attachment rely on strikingly similar neural systems, especially those governing mentalized social cognition, emotional regulation, and internal representations of close relationships. This convergence helps explain why prayer, particularly relational forms like conversational, meditative, and petitionary, prayer can produce measurable mental health benefits. Core findings: shared neuronal networks between prayer and attachment. The review synthesizes neuroimaging studies showing that both Christian prayer and attachment processes activate the difficult mode network, or DMN, which supports self reflection and autobiographical memory, theory of mind, 2M regions, which help us imagine others' thoughts and attention. Medial prefrontal cortex involved in representing close others and internalized attachment figures. These overlaps suggest that when Christians pray, especially in relational or conversational ways, the brain may treat the interaction with God similarly to how it processes secure human relationships. Emotional regulation systems show strong similarity. The review found no major differences between prayer and attachment in the brain regions tied to approach, motivation, emotional soothing, self-regulation. This supports the idea that prayer can function as a regulatory strategy, helping people calm themselves, reinterpret stress, and maintain emotional balance, which, much like turning to a trusted caregiver or partner, 3 differences in the aversion insol insoli insol system. The primary divergence appeared in the insula, a region involved in bodily awareness. Aversion negative effects, tree perception. This suggests that prayer may modulate distress differently than human relationships. It also implies that attachment style, secure, anxious, or avoidant may shape how prayer is experienced. For example, secure individuals may experience prayer as soothing. Anxiously attached individuals may experience heightened emotional intensity. Avoidantly attached individuals may show reduced insular activation, reflecting emotional distancing. Mental health implications. Prayer may function as an attachment relationship. The review strengthens the attachment to God hypothesis. Relational prayer activates the same neural systems used in human bonding. This can provide a sense of felt security, comfort, and emotional grounding. Prayer may reduce loneliness by offering a stable relational anchor. Potential benefits for depression, anxiety, and stress. Because prayer engages networks involved in emotional regulation and social connection, it may help reduce stress reactivity, buffer against depressive symptoms, support coping during grief, trauma, or uncertainty. Okay, guys, those are your shows for now. I will jump back on later for one more. Give me a bit for a break, please, and I'll jump back on and do another show. For now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.